Good evening. So yeah, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday. I actually I was a part of a interview with a potential candidate, and one thing I noticed, this is just a tip video, but if you're actually going for a job and you say you have all these great things on your resume, and this is no slight to the man or anything like that, but one thing I find that's important in higher paying jobs is having more than one story to tell. Also, with that story, have a story showing some type of bravery or exemplary conduct, such as, okay, well, I had this problem and then I spent X amount of hours to figure this out. I wrote I wrote this API call or this script to make this API call. And with that script, it did X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. Maybe even say, hey, listen, we can step through the script if you want. Like, I really feel excited about this script and what it did. One of the things that you'll see on one of my older repos or GitHub repos is, actually, no, GitHub accounts is at MJNS hosting. So that's Mary Jane Nancy Sam hosting. So that's my GitHub username, or my old GitHub username. It had a script in there called IP block search. With that script, what it was doing is going through super blocks and also dumping routing tables for various devices across our network to find out routing tables and interface descriptions to find out where certain IP addresses were routed, so I didn't have to go through and do that for all the different subnets within that super block. Because some of them were like, it's a /17, so some of them were a little bit smaller, like say your usual /5s, or sorry, your /29s, yeah, 29s, yeah, /29, I should give you 5 IPs, and then sometimes a little bit larger, like a whole /24 of publicly accessible IP addresses. So I had stories to tell and I had scripts to back it up, so on and so forth. Also, another thing, show your work. One thing I would have liked to seen in this candidate was actually seeing if some of the projects that he's working on. He talks about, one thing that was nice is that he talked about doing work outside of work, or doing projects outside of work that actually helped work. So that shows me that even when the clock stops, he's still improving, trying to do better. And then, of course, he'll bring that to the business itself or the organization, and that essentially my team that I'm working on. So, on surface level, like, look good. But there's a couple of things where, after questioning, it wasn't questioned really hard. There were some things he really did know. But one of the things I noticed that he wasn't a lead on certain things, and I was just like, okay. And he wasn't a lead mainly on the things that were required for the position. So when you're out there and you're doing these resumes and or not these resumes, but you're doing these interviews. One, you have to match your resume, and then two, in the interview process, have a good story to tell. Have maybe 2 or 3, almost to the point where I wouldn't say be over enthusiastic. Sometimes you do have to read the room, and the stars are aligned, and then you get the job. Because I didn't feel good in the interview when I was in the technical interview, like in the same position he was back in November of 2021 when I got my job. I was just like, oh, okay, I didn't think I did well at all. And they said, wow, no, you actually did well. And I almost want to see like some of my my paperwork, some of the things that we have to fill out. Yeah, and I just thought about that, and I was thinking about doing a stream, but I didn't want to make it too long. It's just one of these days where I want to not do too much on the stream side. But yeah, one of the things that you definitely should do is have stories to tell. And with those stories to tell, what they'll do is help the person that is interviewing, the interviewer. It'll help them ask you more questions, find out more about you. It also seasons you a little bit, and or it shows that you're seasoned a little bit. So it makes them a little bit more enticed to say, or it makes them enticed or want to they desire you more for this position. They're like, oh, okay, this guy's done some stuff. Okay, he's done this, he's done that. Now, not everything is there, so you have to kind of play it by ear. But definitely having some type of story can actually improve your chances, because it also makes it seem like you're a person that knows what they're doing, or not just knows what they're doing, but they also can recount certain things. You know, there's a lot of things that can be read into this. I had a few notes on him while I was listening to him, and I just felt that, you know, he wasn't so much of a leader, but at the same time, I do think he had something there that could be developed into that leader. But the thing is, you know, with what is going on with our project, yeah, you can't, like, we have to get it done faster a little bit, or he has to hit the ground running, which is something that I had to deal with as well. But I just wanted to put that out to you, to those to guys that listen, and I don't know if hopefully, I mean, you know, hopefully he doesn't really watch it or anything like that, and I only say that because not like I said anything bad, but I just don't know how, you know, certain people will take that, you know. So I don't think he was bad, but I don't think he had enough stories to tell per se. So, and he's in a position to actually tell some stories. So next, I do hope he watches this and gets feedback. But yeah, that's the best I can tell you. Or that's the best advice I can give you when it comes to this, being on the other side of the interview process. Even me as a former business owner, I never interviewed like this because I never expanded my business, which is or businesses, either one of them. I never expanded them in this way, having employees and stuff like that. And that's also a fault on my side because I never created a business that could run itself. I created mainly businesses that I turned into jobs, and that's just a fault on my own, or a fault of my own, of course. And this is how this is one of the reasons why I failed in some of my businesses, and one of the things that I do want to change going into new businesses later on. All right. With that being said, as always, thank you very much. This is an extended just a tip. I will be getting back to coding pretty soon. There's just been a lot of stuff going on. I've been well, not really a lot of stuff going on, but just taking a break from some stuff. It's like an unconscious break because I didn't know I was gonna take a break. I just like, oh, I don't feel like doing this right now. So that will come in time. But as always, thank you guys very much for listening and you know, interacting and everything else with the chat. I wish you all the best. Peace. Love you all.